for this is that defenses are giving this up. This is why attacking vertically and over the top is the key to breaking quarters. Attack long, and teams will be forced to change coverage. So if quarters can be beaten over the top, what is the point? Well, it gives the defense leverage on the offense and allows them to play top down on any route concept. However, with the right route combos, you can still open up shots downfield. Quarters is, say it with me, a leverage coverage, not a deep coverage. Say it louder for the folks in the back. Come on. Leverage coverage, not a deep coverage. Now, to the first play in question. And it doesn't play out like a perfect example, because this is the NFL. And both coverages are adjusted for the Patriots' overloaded formations. The Patriots have a 4-strong nub formation into the boundary, meaning the Browns push the coverage over, and have the near side safety playing poach technique, with no number 2 to watch to his side. With the heavy formation into the boundary, the outside corner switches to inside technique to use the sideline as a friend. But this is something the Patriots clearly noticed the Browns do on film, attacking this change with the double move. Hollins goes vertical, splitting the safeties to distract him, with Booty running a filthy double move to lose the corner. Grant Delpit waves off the safety to help on the one, knowing he can carry Hollins on his path. But there's no chance to catch on the route when the ball's thrown this good. Drake does a nice job to step up, then just needs a flick to send this 50 yards, dropped perfectly over the shoulder for the score. Whew! Against Tennessee, they get a more traditional looking quarters against the trips formation, with Tennessee playing a true quarters poach. Everyone's got their receiver to watch and match based on release, with the far safety poaching across to the trip side ready to help at the intermediate. With the corners and outside leverage and no help inside due to route distribution, the skinny post is a quarters crusader, smashing through the barriers of an otherwise well-designed scheme. May's got a good pocket, putting it out in front of the receiver softly, allowing him to never break stride as he pulls it down for 6. And he's got the aggression and arm to throw into backed up zones too. 3rd and long here against the Steelers, and they rotate down late to form a cover 3, trying to condense the middle of the field on the long downs. But May realizes this is spot drop, and rips one through the heart to find Booty for the first down. This video is sponsored by Surfshark. A lot of research goes into our videos, but with the web increasingly location restricted, it can be hard to get access. 50% of our channel live in the UK, and they continually find themselves locked out of their ability to read articles and watch live sporting events here in the US. So without a VPN, thinking football wouldn't get made. Surfshark offers over 4,500 different servers in 100 different international locations, meaning you can always find the right place to connect for your every need. Unlike other VPN companies, Surfshark doesn't limit you to just one device either. You only need to set up one account, and you can use it across all your devices. So if you're looking for a VPN, go to surfshark.com/thinking or use our code THINKING at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. And don't forget, Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you've got plenty of time to try out the service and experience its potential. And if you're still not satisfied, you can get your money back. Remember, use code THINKING to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. When it comes to reading defenses, there's some growth needed in his progression work to expand his game fully. But his reading early in the concept, combined with an aggressive approach, takes chunks out of defenses. This is a really quick spot of the Tampa 2, attacking the turkey hole with pinpoint precision. This ball is thrown absolutely perfectly, and even with the corner dropping to try to get a tip, it's whistling past the outstretched hands right to Hollins. Noticing the safety rotate down and the Browns trying to invert this side of their cover 2, May is quick on the trigger to his tight end running the vertical. Again, out in front so they can catch and run. More attacking between the zone levels, this time off the heavy play action look. The Pats get into 13 personnel with 3 tight ends on the field, and the Bills match it playing base and a Tampa 2 coverage on the long 2nd down. But they aren't running the ball, instead sending Mac Hollins on a post and running Hunter Henry on the over route between the levels. The play action then gets them 6 in protection plus 2 more chippers, helping build a clean pocket to launch from. May shuffles left off the top of his dropback, keeping good footwork and rhythm, before ripping this to the crosser and getting a fresh set of downs. And he's a lover of the back shoulder ball, showing trust between him and his receivers, and an innate ability to read the corner's leverage. As soon as the corner turns his back to run on the fade, he's ripping one back shoulder, finding the blind spot and showing great chemistry with Diggs. He's done this numerous times, attacking otherwise good coverage by having a feel for the DB's leverage and turn. It's a great ball to have in your arsenal. Fast firing with precision translates to an effective quick game, and Drake has shown excellent work to keep the Pats on schedule and ahead of the count. One area I want to focus on is their use of the three-step drop from under center, with the Pats one of the league's top users of this design. This used to be such a common part of the game, and it soon will be again too. With defenses backing off and trying to play match coverages, three-step dropping from under center attacks the flat fast and at a much shallower angle, allowing less time for linebackers to break, changing the passing windows and angles. The Pats love to accompany this play with motion to check the coverage, often paired with a cut block from the tackle to open the window to the flat. Here, the tight end shift gets the Bills to show their cover 3, and Will Campbell cuts the edge defender down to open a quick passing lane for May to get the ball to the flat. It's in rhythm and an easy first down. This time, it's Diggs who checks the coverage with the motion, and seeing man, May comes near side to attack the vacated space outside the numbers. It's perfectly in sync for another first down. And it doesn't have to be all quick outs and stick concepts. The motion gets them a matchup they love with Diggs on Darrell Baker, running him on a baby fade to attack the sideline space. It's an absolute bucket drop from May, and rumor has it the corner is still trying to work out when this was thrown. Three-step under center drops will start to make a comeback as quarterbacks and offenses get more comfortable playing under center again in the pros. The schematic angles advantage it gives you means it's due for a comeback. When it comes to working through his progressions, this is where Drake needs his most improvement. Now this can be taught, and there's some really promising signs, but too often, these reps swing from the spectacular to the disastrous. Let's look at some good reps first. This is exactly what you want to see from a pro QB, working his way from concept to find the open read against the quarter's coverage. He scans far side, but sees the hitch dig easily smothered from leverage, so works backside, sees the mic tag to pop, and knows Diggs has the leverage to break from the outside on a dig route. Gotta be fast, or the safety will clamp this, ripping it for the first down. This is another good show of progressions with a stunning ball to end it. The Patriots try to run a TF favorite, fake bubble seam, but the Saints ain't biting. So May calmly works up and through the pocket and to his soloed man. With the corners back to him, he knows he's not expecting the ball, rifling one past his ear for the touchdown. And this rep shows the true importance of the progression. Getting the ball to the open man, no matter who that is, keeps the offense churning. When it happens as the third or fourth man in the progressions, they're often in space to make a threat after the catch. Here, Diggs spins on a dime, breaks one set of ankles, and he's free to turn this in for a touchdown. Get your guys the ball, let them show you their talent. Where Drake May gets himself in trouble is when his initial concept isn't opening up, he can get a little jittery and looks to run far too often. His eyes drop in the pocket when they need to stay downfield, and this leaves yards on the field far too often. Here, he's not confident on his read on the stack release, turning down a potential throw to the out. More egregiously, he doesn't work backside and find the hook route that's wide open, tunnel visioning on the run and getting himself sacked. From the end zone camera, it's easy to see his eyes go down way too early. And this is one reason sacks are a quarterback stat. He's got to be comfortable sliding and finding the yards, not eyes down trying to run. Here it is again off the play action. He does a good job to step up through the pocket, but his eyes are too focused on the run, missing a chance. If he keeps them up, he'll spot Hollins on the curl for a turn and score. Instead, he takes off and exposes himself to a pinball hit. Ouch. This just isn't a sustainable way to play in the NFL. You have to take the yards the defense is offering, and you can't be opening yourself up to unnecessary hits. If he keeps his eyes up on the step through, he finds Hollins curving back to the boundary on the Seattle route. Instead, he's off and running, trying to turn the corner and taking on the backer, but ends up getting his head bounced and taken out of the game to get checked. Remember, y'all, the best ability is availability. You cannot be doing this in the NFL. He's got to learn to improve his trust in the pocket. I know it's a tough thing to ask when your first 15 starts are with the ragtag group, but they've improved, and yet May still finds his way into silly sacks. Part of this is because his legs are so good. I just want him to be kept to either design runs or as a last resort against the defense. That way, you punish them from every angle. Having a quarterback that can do this is invaluable in the modern NFL, and the statues who are confined to the pocket are slowly dying out. Being able to turn the corner like this when everything's locked up, that really frustrates a defense. They just run out of players to guard the space. One area he's improved in is working up and through the pocket on these. He's got to keep his eyes up more. But this is how you best use the angles when you attack an offense with your legs. Drake May's playing the best ball of his young career, and we are still far off from finding his ceiling. His ability to anticipate and attack vertically gives the Patriots a quarterback they haven't had since, don't say it, Tom Brady. Although the processing still needs some work. The easy schedule means the Patriots have only been lightly tested, but you can only beat who's in front of you. And as of right now, it's taken them to the top of the AFC.
Believe it or not, we are midway through the 2025 NFL season, and in today's video, we will be going back and grading picks 1 through 16 from the 2025 NFL Draft. We will be going in reverse order, so we will be starting with the Cardinals selection of defensive lineman Walter Nolen and finishing with the Titans selection of quarterback Cam Ward. If you are wondering where picks 17 through 32 are, that video will be released next Saturday. Now, one thing within the grading for transparency, we are grading largely the production from each player so far. So, obviously, the Browns and Jags had a very big trade so that the Jags could go up and get Travis Hunter. We are grading just the production of Travis Hunter so far and not the second round pick in which the Browns took Quinshon Judkins and the 2026 first. Just Travis Hunter's production so far. So, I did want to get that transparency within the grading out of the way, and if you could take a second to like the video before we start to help with the almighty YouTube algorithm, I would very much appreciate that. And with those prefaces out of the way, let's begin. The Arizona Cardinals selected Walter Nolen with the 16th pick in the 2025 draft, and at the time of this video release, Walter Nolen has only played in one NFL game, which was in Week 9 against the Dallas Cowboys. Nolen started the season on the PUP list due to a calf injury, and in his lone NFL game, well, his impact was felt. He had 4 total tackles, 2 TFLs, a sack, and a pass deflection, and played a big part in the Cardinals' win. Unfortunately, this grade will be incomplete as he's only played 37 snaps on the season, and I don't think that's enough of a sample size to grade, but if Cardinals fans want to grade on his first NFL game, I mean, look, he would be on pace for 34 TFLs as well as 17 sacks, and I think that grade would have to be an A+. Georgia defensive player Jalen Walker was the first of 2 Falcons' first-round picks of the night, as the other was pass rusher James Pierce Jr., but there has been flashes from Jalen Walker in the first half of his rookie season. At the time of this video release, Walker has played in 6 of the team's 8 games, as he missed a few games with a groin injury. The big thing with Jalen Walker as a prospect was he was a very unique player in the sense of whichever team drafted him had to have a plan with his usage because he lines up at so many positions. And I was worried a team would draft Jalen Walker and not have a plan for him or try to make him become a player he's not. And you also had to factor in him adjusting to the NFL level and the physicality and strength of the NFL level at 21 years old. But Walker had a really good game against the Patriots in Week 9, as he had 5 total tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble, and I really think we're starting to scratch the surface of the player he can become. At the time of this video release, he has played less than 180 total snaps, and I do think this grade will rise by season's end, and significantly, but for now this is a B+. Tyler Warren was the Colts' first-round pick, and in the first half of his rookie season, he's been everything the Colts could have asked for and more. He has over 500 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns, as well as a rushing touchdown in his first 9 career games, and also has 5 games with 60 or more yards. And whenever this selection was made, well, I was surprised he fell all the way to the 14th pick and already thought this was good value for the Colts, but I specifically like this selection because I thought it was a great landing spot for Warren. A lot of things can change in a short time period in the NFL, and when this pick was made, I thought, man, if Anthony Richardson can't hit Tyler Warren, then the Colts have a lot bigger problems on their hands. But that was never a thought because Daniel Jones took the starting job, and through 9 games, the Colts have the highest scoring offense in the league at over 32 points per game. And I think you can make a legitimate argument that Tyler Warren could put up even better numbers on a team that doesn't have as many mouths to feed as Indy does. And even with Jonathan Taylor, a guy who could very easily win the Offensive Player of the Year award, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, and Alec Pierce, there's still a possibility Warren puts up 1,000 yards as a rookie tight end, which would be just the 4th time in the past 65 years. Not surprisingly, this is an easy A+. Now, during the season with a busy work schedule, if there's 2 things I love, it's convenience and food. And today's sponsor, Good Chop, delivers high-quality American meat and seafood straight to your door. And one of the cool things about Good Chop is, unlike grocery stores, there is not a limited selection on meat and seafood. Not to mention, the quality with the grocery store can be hit or miss, but Good Chop removes the guesswork by delivering vacuum-sealed cuts frozen at peak freshness, so your freezer stays stocked and you can cook when you want. And I'll be honest, I was absolutely ecstatic to partner with Good Chop, and I've been looking to partner with Good Chop for a while, and they sent me several different kinds of meat, and I absolutely love grilling, and I really think this is one you need to see in person to really see the quality of the meat that you're getting, and I absolutely love the New York strip and the ribeye that I grilled, and those are my favorite cuts of meat, is the strip and the ribeye. But I also love the bavette steak. I also cooked some wings in the oven. I also used some ground beef that I turned into burgers on the grill, and I could not be happier with the product that Good Chop sent me, and I can't recommend Good Chop enough. And right now, you can go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use code GFB50 to get $50 off your first order plus free shipping, or click the link in the description. Once again, that's goodchop.com/YouTube and use code GFB50 to get $50 off your first order plus free shipping. I've been wanting to work with a company like Good Chop for a long time, and I cannot thank Good Chop enough for sponsoring today's video. Kenneth Grant for the Dolphins is up and 9 games into his rookie season. I'll be honest, I don't think this pick looks great. And not just because of the Kenneth Grant pick, but there's a reason former GM Chris Greer and the team mutually parted ways. I liked Grant as a draft prospect coming out of Michigan, and for reference, I had him at 26 on my final top 150 big board, so admittedly the value was a little rich for where Grant was selected, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed with how the pick looks half a year in. If you look at the raw stat sheet and see that he has 1.5 sacks, you may say, well, that's not bad for a rookie interior defensive lineman, and that he could finish the year with 4 sacks, and that would be a stepping stone. But he only has 12 pressures on 168 pass rushing snaps, and the 1.5 sacks he has under his belt were also sacks that kind of fell into his lap. Bryce Young was trying to get the first down on a 3rd and 2 on one play, and Kenneth Grant tackled him after he tried to get past the line of scrimmage, and he caught Justin Herbert on his way to the line of scrimmage too. Grant also gets moved regularly in the run game, and if there is anything positive to take away or anything to hang your head on, it's that he just turned 22 years old and he could be going through growing pains, the way a lot of young trench players do. But right now, this pick does not look good, and half a year in, this is a D. The Cowboys beefed up their offensive line with their first-round pick in Alabama guard Tyler Booker. Now, the Cowboys are in the headlines pretty often for, well, a lot of reasons, but Tyler Booker had a near impossible task as a rookie, and that was to replace future Hall of Fame guard Zach Martin, and I think he's done a tremendous job. And one of my concerns with Tyler Booker coming out of Alabama was that a team was going to try to make him be a player he's not, and it's pretty straightforward who Tyler Booker is. He's mean, he's nasty, and you better get out of his way in the run game. And Javonte Williams has had a resurgence year, and obviously he deserves a lot of credit for that, but Tyler Booker has also helped pave the way, big time. And in pass pro, Tyler Booker has allowed just 12 pressures on nearly 300 pass blocking snaps. And unfortunately, he did miss some time due to a high ankle sprain, but in the 3 games he's played since returning, he's allowed just 4 pressures on 135 pass blocking snaps. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, Jerry Jones truly does a lot of things right from a football standpoint. There's obviously things he doesn't do right, but I couldn't be happier for Tyler Booker. Right now, this is an A, though I project this grade to go up at season's end. Michael Williams was the 49ers' first-round pick, and this was a selection I wasn't a huge fan of to begin with because I thought he was an extremely raw player that won largely on athleticism during his time at Georgia, and I didn't think there was a pass rush plan from Michael other than speed to power. And I think that translated in a lot of ways to his rookie season, and this was why I was lower on Michael Williams as a prospect than other analysts, and for reference, I had him at player 32 on my board. Now, unfortunately, Michael Williams tore his ACL in the Week 9 game against the Giants, and obviously we all wish Michael the best in recovery, and for the purpose of today's video, that is enough time to register a grade. He didn't play 10 snaps in one game and that was it. No, he played and started 9 games. He had 245 pass rushing snaps and only registered 19 pressures, and he had a few plays here and there, but for the 11th overall pick, I was pretty underwhelmed with Michael Williams' performance. He is only 21 years old and he can grow into his body more in year 2, but I thought there was a lot of meat left on the bone. And the criticism has nothing to do with injury because we of course wish him the best. I mean, obviously, but through half a season, this grade would be a C-. Colston Loveland, the Bears' first-round pick, is up, and this is a very difficult pick to grade for a couple of reasons. The first thing that I think needs to be established with Loveland is I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a really good player. I don't think he's destined to be a bust and to always be in Tyler Warren's shadows as a tight end either, especially because both were first-round tight ends in the same draft. But one thing I do not understand is drafting a tight end with a top 10 pick and only giving him 25 targets in his first 7 games. And if you want to go further, 18 targets in his first 6 games, as he had more than half of his receiving yards on the year in the Week 9 game against Cincy, which is one of the worst defenses over the past 25 years. So with the Loveland pick specifically, he makes plays when he's actually throwing the ball, but the plan is not something I can get behind. And I think the plan after drafting Loveland would probably be a D, or at the very best a C- grade, but it is clear to me that Loveland has talent. He's just not being fully utilized. And out of the picks in today's video, this is one I struggled with the most because it's not a reflection on the talent or the player, it's more of a reflection of the lack of involvement. And ultimately, we went with a C+. Kelvin Banks was a prospect I loved coming out of Texas, and I loved the thought process from GM Mickey Loomis with this pick. Obviously, the Saints have not had a lot of success this year, but I love the process of drafting Talisi Fuaga and Kelvin Banks in back-to-back years. And through the first half of his rookie season, Kelvin Banks has allowed a lot of pressures on paper, but I think the tape has also showed promise. He did have one bad game against the 49ers in which Nick Bosa took him to school a couple of times, but that was in Kelvin Banks' second career NFL start at 21 years old, and I am willing to dismiss that. Now, if this was a regular thing where Banks was getting beat by everybody, not just Nick Bosa, it would be a different conversation. But the progress has been there, and like we've discussed on the channel before, playing in the trenches at 21 years old and succeeding is a massive accomplishment in itself, and several offensive linemen from this class are young and have had a lot of success early on, and good for them. And what I think should also be remembered for Kelvin Banks specifically is he plays on a team that is often down in the second half, meaning opposing teams know they're going to throw the football. So I don't think Banks has been put in advantageous situations, to say the least, and he's still been a solid player. And I think this grade will go up with time, but for now, this is an A-. Teteroa McMillan was the Panthers' first-round pick back in April, and when this pick was made, admittedly, I clapped my hands and said yes in excitement because of what this meant for the Panthers franchise. I was really excited to see Teteroa McMillan get paired with 2023 #1 overall pick Bryce Young, and that the Panthers finally had a #1 receiver. And in the first half of McMillan's rookie year, he has over 550 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns with one 100-yard game. He also technically has a 99-yard game, which is certainly frustrating from the accolade standpoint, but he's played really well through the first half of his career, and I think McMillan has been everything the Panthers could have realistically hoped for. At the time of this video release, he is on pace for a little over 1,000 yards, and I do think as football fans, we've been spoiled with the Justin Jeffersons, Jamar Chases, and Puka Nakuas, and even the Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomases of the world as rookies over the past few years. And I think what McMillan has accomplished over the first 9 games is a good representation of producing good numbers while not necessarily putting up 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns as a rookie. And I think both things can be true. T-Mac is having a good rookie season and doing everything that's asked of him, and guys before him set unrealistic expectations for rookie receivers. And midway through his rookie year, we give this an A. The New York Jets have had a long season so far, but it has nothing to do with their first-round pick, Armand Membou. I loved Armand Membou in the draft process and had him as a top 5 player in the class, and through the first half of his rookie season, he's played like it. He started his NFL career against the Steelers, and given that he's a right tackle, that meant he was going to be matching up against a former DPOY in TJ Watt. And in his NFL debut, he had 26 pass-blocking snaps and 0 pressures allowed, and even threw TJ out of the club at one point in the game. There's been a few welcome to the NFL moments for Membou, but for him to show this type of promise at 21 years old has all the makings of a tackle who's going to play for this franchise for a long time. And there's a lot of things to joke about with the New York Jets, but their 2025 first-round selection is not one of them. And a lot of the time in the draft process, the biggest thing I try to emphasize is to draft good football players and not overthink it. And credit Jets GM Darren Muji for not overthinking his first pick as the Jets GM. Half a year in, this is an A+. Ashton Jeanty was the Raiders' first-round pick, and it's been a long season for the Silver and Black.